Hello, 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 beautiful people and joyful mind. Welcome to my channel. I am. My name is Yogesh Dhruv, and I am a mindfulness coach. Welcome to my channel. So I'm very excited uh, to welcome you all and hope you would. I'm going to share some uh, very good techniques today. So the topic for today is how to raise your confidence in the face of fear. So how to raise your confidence in the face of fear. So we are going to share, I am going to share you some few techniques and also give you some examples, the real life examples, so that you can implement in your own life and see how that works for you. So it's a powerful techniques, very simple, but very powerful and profound techniques, which I have found, and also all of my clients, they also found it very useful. So yeah, let's deep dive into it. Uh, so the first technique is journaling. So when I say journaling, it is about recording your thoughts and feelings. So let me let me start, with one of my clients' real life experience, so that you can understand what I mean by journaling. So so what happened is, my client, uh, he got fear. So he had fear about, because he is a businessman, and one night, like middle of the night, you know he gets up and he has the fear because his business revenue had gone down, and there was a big drop in their revenue. So sales were not happening up to the level, and they did not had cash flow coming in, so that they can pay for all um, the payroll, employees, to all the employees, the payroll, then all the expenses. They could not cover all of them, and the cash flow was short, so there was a constraint about how to manage this. And he suddenly get so much of fear in his mind, that he he was not able to understand how to come out of this fear. So he had a cash flow crunch, so he had a constraints on the cash flow. At the same time, he had how to make payments to all the employees, and salaries, and do all the expenses and everything. And so he got really worried, and there was a lot of anxiety and overwhelm. So he had a sadness and all the fear of how to deal with this fear. So the first technique of journaling. So this is a very powerful technique. So what I suggested is, okay, so write down your thoughts and feelings. So whatever thoughts are coming, just write it down on a piece of paper, or you can do it on your computer, laptop, tablet, whatever. So, but writing it down on a piece of paper would become more, useful for me. It is more sensible. So I use it mostly writing it on a pad in a paper. So that way, you have your mind is very focused. When you write it down, on a piece of paper with a pen, your mind is connected to that pen, and when that pen goes onto the paper, it really connects exactly what your thoughts are, what your feelings are, and then you can write that down. And that way you have a full focus on your thoughts and feelings. So that's one very um, good way of expressing yourself onto the paper. So it is not something is going on in your mind, but it is jotted down on a paper very clearly in black and white. See, there is no gray in between here. It is either whatever you can capture, all the thoughts and feelings are now jotted down on the paper. So that's first thing. Now, once you start down writing out all the fears, all those thoughts, all the feelings on the paper, then step is to ask a question that what will happen next? So, what will happen next? So, let me tell you the story. So, continue the story that when my client got middle, like, in that middle of the night, and he started writing it down, all the feelings and thoughts, he said, oh, if I don't have a cash flow, if I don't have enough money in the bank, and if I cannot pay to all my employees and even to myself, then how can I survive? Then, if I cannot survive, then I will be like bankrupt. Then I will be, then I said, okay, what will happen next? So, asking that question, the answer came in the mind that, oh, I will have no food, I will have, no bills to pay, and then I will be really in a situation where I cannot pay all my mortgages for the house. I cannot pay all the my living expenses. Okay, then what happens next? Then he said that then the answer came is that um, well, ultimately I will be homeless. I will be on the street. So I will be on the street. That is like I am a homeless. I'm on the street, and uh, I will be like on the street without any food, without any kind of home on the or like roof. So I will be in the cold season. That I will be in the cold weather, and I will be freezing to death. Okay, okay, you will be freezing to death. Okay, all right. Let's see. What happens next? So if you are freezing to like freezing in that cold climate, and you are like on the street. There is nobody to take your uh, care of yourself, and take care of you, and you are like there. What happens next? And he said, oh, the answer came that then I will be dead. I will be dead, and I will die. I will pass away. Okay, what happens next? The answer is, once I'm dead, then I will be no more. Then then what happens next? Well, my body will be gone, to the soul will be gone, and that body will be left here. But then, once I'm gone, then what happens next? He says, then, oh, when I'm dead, then there is nothing to worry about. There is no worry, because I'm dead. There is no bills to pay. There are no mortgages to pay. There are no expenses to be covered. And there are no other like living expenses to be covered. No insurance to be paid. No auto car insurance or no home insurance. And, all that is not to be paid because you are dead. And the moment that realization came, he said, that fear is gone. Now, you ask a question that, is that fear real? Is that fear real? Now, let me tell you, the moment you ask that question, immediately that realization that fear is not real, that fear is false. So let me tell you, fear is false evidence appearing real. So fear, the full, if you expand FEAR, that is fear, that is false evidence appearing real. So, see, this is what the fear is. So, the moment you realize that it is false, it is not true. When you ask these questions and when you journal it down, that realization comes that that fear is false. It is not real. And the client realized it, and immediately he said, well, immediately, that it was shifted, the mind was shifted, and now I got confidence that this is just the fear, which is a false evidence appearing real. And that is not true. So why I'm worrying about it? So that is technique number one, is journaling. Journaling all your thoughts and feelings in sequential order, and then you can write it down and ask questions and ask questions and ask questions till you realize it, that fear is not real. Okay, so that is one technique. Hello, let me see, there is somebody in the chat here. So Audi is here. Okay, hello Audi, welcome to the channel. And I'm very excited to share some of the life experiences today, and some techniques about how to raise your confidence in the face of the fear. Okay, and so let's go to the next technique. The next technique is also very easy. And so what I do is, again, I do is with the client, where the client has got certain fears. So let me tell you another story. So one of my client was having a fear that his son and had certain um, issues. So he was not sober. He was taking certain substances, and he had that addiction of those substances. And because of that, he could not had like a good like job. He could not get a nice job, or he did not go to the complete his education. And so the father that was worried about that what will happen to this son. And he was really very nice, and he had a like very nice relationship all throughout. But once he started that after school, like maybe in that um, high school level, he got some friends, and that led to this kind of addiction. And then it happened that he is not good relationship with his father. So now father you know gets up in the in this kind of a situation where he gets worried about how to handle this situation with my son. How can I have a beautiful relationship with my son? So that is the he had that fear. So I said, okay, let's have a conversation together. And then we started with a conversation where I asked him, okay, what's going on? Tell me. And he said that, yeah, my son is having this kind of a challenge, and I'm really worried. I'm paying for all his expenses. I'm paying for everything, uh, but I'm fearful that when I'm giving him some money, he spends that money in this addiction, in that substance, taking those things, which is making him unconscious. And he loses all his um, you know the he loses all his capacity, and then he cannot perform well. He fails in the colleges, in the exams. And then he is really in a disastrous situation. So I said, okay, then what what will happen? If you don't give the money, then what will happen? He says, yeah, if I give the money, then he's going to use it in this bad practices. But if I don't give him the money, then he will be left without the money. Then he will not be able to function in his life, and then he will be like struggling. And I said, okay, all right, then what will happen next? And he said, well, he will be again, like he'll be out from that house again, homeless. And he'll be on the street, and then he will be really in a very traumatic situation. So I said, okay, what happens next? And he said, yeah, it is really terrible, you know situation for a father, that a son is homeless, he's on the street, and he's really having nobody to care for. I said, okay. I said, have you ever seen any children in like any other, like in some another city or any other country, where there are people who who do not have the money and they still survive. And he said, okay, yeah. He said, I know that, certain countries like Africa or some Asian countries where people don't have enough money and their children are suffering. They are on the street, but they survive. They live on the street and they survive. I said, okay, so can your son can also be something like that? And he got it. In that instance, he immediately said, oh man, there are thousands and thousands of children. They are, of course, they are not they are not getting the best of the things in life, but they do survive. And there are people who also come up, you know in their life when they don't have all the luxuries and amenities in their life during their childhood, or even in the adult side. They work and learn, and there are so many examples in our life, even like my in our family, that the father died at the age of 10, and that person had to leave the school. He did not had money to pay for the school, so he started a job, and then they started working. And that he started working from early age of 10 years, 10, 12 years, and then built business, one business to another business and another business, became very successful in his life. So it is not that if you don't have enough money, then you don't survive. And that my client immediately realized, oh man, yeah, that is wonderful. It can happen to other people. It can happen to my son as well. So why it cannot happen? It could be a little bit troublesome, but it is possible. And I said, okay, then what is the fear? And he immediately got it. He says, man, I know that this fear is false. This fear is not real. So it is a false fear. Fear is, again, I said that it is a false evidence appearing real. So that is a key distinction about the fear, that it is a false evidence appearing real. So now, once you realize that, I asked him another question, that do you think that you want to live in that state of, when you are in that fear? I asked him, what are the feelings there? He said, the feelings are of sadness, depression, distress, all the like negative thoughts coming, and I'm overwhelmed. Also, there is anxiety and worries. I asked him, do you want to stay in that? Do you Are you happy staying in that feelings? And he said, no, I don't want to stay in that. I don't want to stay in that sadness. I don't want to stay in that depression, in that anxiety. I want, okay, then what do you want? What do you want instead of that anxiety and worries? He said, the client immediately said, yeah, I want my happiness, my joyfulness, my peaceful, my peace, inner peace. So I want my happiness. I want peaceful. I want to be peaceful. I want to be joyful. I want to be excited, and I want to be, in that, in the, blissful and, very joyous moment. I said, okay, then we can create that. I mean, you can create it yourself. So then I teach, the more in-depth technique, and then, he immediately. But the moment he realized by asking these questions, and he realized that immediately that fear shifted to confidence. Now he has confidence. And just to give you that, he works with me, and then, during our sessions, we go through these different techniques. And then today, he has, fast forward after like 3 months or 4 months, the whole relationship became so powerful with his son. So that is the second technique that can be applied. And then I give you the third technique, which is also very powerful and very effective. So, and simple. It is very simple to apply. So, the third technique, what I see here, is about observing the silence. So, see, I'm a mindfulness coach, and it is mindfulness. The definition of a mindfulness is um, paying attention, being aware. So, when you are aware, when you are paying attention to yourself, to your life, to your environment, to everyone around you, to every small details about the life. And that is all about the mindfulness. It is awareness. Awareness is paying attention to your life, to your body, to your environment. So if you can pay attention, and if you can really be aware, the whole environment changes. If you are aware of your thoughts, it will change immediately. So the moment you pay attention, the energy flows there. So let me repeat this. So the moment you pay attention, the energy flows there. And where the energy flows, immediately your thoughts will change, because that energy will change the thoughts. So what I do here, this technique is very simple. So here, what we what like I what I do is just sit in a quiet place for, in a quiet room, closing your eyes. Just be in that silence. Now, this silence means, you close your eyes, and also, like, just all your five sensory organs are kind of disconnected, and you are just being in that present moment. So be silently, being there, no distractions. or no connection to the outer world, you are dead to the world. So you don't really get distracted by the outside noise. So if somebody is, uh, like a car is going on the street and you hear the noise, but you don't get distracted. Or if there is some music going on in another room, and then you don't get distracted, or any kind of a meetings or any noise comes out, you don't get distracted because of that. You are not reacting to the outside world activities. That is what I say, that you are dead to the world. So you sit down there quietly, close your eyes, and be in that moment of silence for 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, or as long as you feel comfortable, and just observe yourself, observe your thoughts, observe your feelings and the sensations in the body, and just observe that. You observe that for maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. Immediately there is a shift. You will realize that you're you're observing, you're paying attention to the awareness, that awareness of yourself, awareness of your feelings, and awareness of your sensations in the body will make you really, you know, it will change, it will shift your thoughts and feelings. And the moment you get those fearful moments out, because you will realize that that is not real, that fear is not truth, that is a false evidence appearing real. So that is a false evidence appearing real, that why worry? You will have so much of a confidence in that moment that that fear is gone. So try this. It's a beautiful technique, and you will realize that it is so powerful. And it just takes probably 5 to 10 minutes, and the biggest of the fears will be shifted in like a flick of a second. So, yeah, try these different techniques. So, I told you, let me summarize these three techniques. Number one is journaling. So, you can journal all your thoughts and feelings and ask questions. Second one is like interacting with other people, and again going through those questions and then creating those new uh, beliefs in your life. And the third one is practicing this silence and be in that present moment. Okay, so those are the three different techniques which I shared. Hope this is useful to you, and you can try them in your own experience in situations. And if you like this, any of these techniques, then you can make some comments here, and also you can subscribe to my channel. And I would love to get your comments and also subscription to the channel. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, being here, and I will be sharing more, topics. So see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.